playground, we debate. Critics talking, we relate. Hot takes, no, we don't wait. Spit the truth, we captivate. Show me what you got, don't hesitate. Critics playground, it's our fate. Talk the talk, don't you be late. On the stage, we elevate. Voices loud, we dominate. Critics bow, they can dictate. Bust a move, don't.
Welcome to a new episode of Critics Playground Debate Review. Today, we're diving into one of the most pivotal and timely discussions shaping our world. Is diversity, equity, and inclusion DEI truly making a lasting difference, or is it simply a passing trend? The concept of DEI has swept across workplaces, schools, and communities, but the question remains, are these initiatives yielding real change, or just becoming buzzwords? As we move forward, we're asking some hard-hitting questions about the future of DEI. How effective are these programs? Are businesses simply checking boxes? Or are they genuinely investing in a more equitable world? In this review, we'll explore the impact of DEI on businesses, employees, and marginalized communities, breaking down both the success stories and the shortcomings of these efforts. The current state of DEI: impact or image? In recent years, diversity, equity, and inclusion have become pillars in corporate strategies, and yet there's a growing debate about their effectiveness. Proponents of DEI argue that it's a powerful tool for creating more inclusive, innovative, and empathetic workplaces, where individuals from all backgrounds feel valued. However, critics contend that these initiatives are often surface-level or performative, designed more to boost brand image than to instigate meaningful change. So, what does DEI really look like today, and how is it shaping the future? DEI advocates point to positive changes such as increased representation of marginalized groups in the workplace, improvements in corporate policies on discrimination, and better access to leadership opportunities for those who've been historically excluded. However, many question whether these changes go deep enough to address systemic barriers, or if they're just cosmetic updates designed to fit in with modern trends. Are DEI efforts truly challenging the status quo, or are they simply making organizations look good on paper? How major companies are handling DEI: progress or PR stunt? Global tech giants like Google, Meta, Amazon, and Target have poured millions into DEI programs. But are these initiatives producing the intended results, or is it all just a public relations stunt? Let's take a closer look at how these companies are implementing DEI and what impact they're having on their diverse employees. Google has made strides in improving the diversity of its workforce, but accusations of diversity fatigue and struggles with inclusion persist. In recent years, Google announced its commitment to hiring more Black and Hispanic employees, but some employees claim that the company's culture is still far from inclusive. Meta has invested heavily in programs aimed at increasing diversity in leadership roles, but it remains to be seen whether these changes are truly reshaping the corporate culture. Despite the investment, Meta faced scrutiny after internal reports highlighted a lack of support for its diverse employees in terms of mentorship and career progression. Amazon faces criticism for its treatment of workers of color and its lack of diversity in higher-level positions, raising questions about the true effectiveness of its DEI initiatives. Recently, Amazon launched a program to address racial disparities within the workforce, but skeptics argue that much of it is driven by optics rather than structural change. Target, once celebrated for its DEI programs and visible support of social justice causes, has recently faced significant backlash. Critics argue that despite its efforts to diversify leadership and increase the representation of marginalized groups, the retailer still struggles with an internal culture of exclusion. Employees have voiced concerns about microaggressions, racial discrimination, and a lack of support for diverse workers seeking advancement. Target's social justice initiatives, once a hallmark of the brand, have also drawn criticism for being more about corporate image than genuine change. Amid increasing scrutiny, the company has faced protests and public calls for greater accountability. Are these companies genuinely committed to fostering diversity and equity, or are they merely jumping on the DEI bandwagon to maintain a positive public image? While some companies have made undeniable progress, others may be guilty of tokenism, showcasing initiatives without making real, systemic changes within their organizations. Are DEI efforts creating meaningful change or just performative action? The heart of the debate lies in whether DEI efforts are bringing about real change, or if they're just performative actions designed to appease critics and win over customers. Can a corporation truly shift its internal culture to one that values equity and inclusion, or is it all just for show? Some companies tout impressive diversity statistics or implement training programs, but when it comes to addressing issues like pay gaps, racial discrimination, and unequal opportunities, the results are often underwhelming. The real test of DEI's effectiveness lies in tangible outcomes. Is there true representation at every level of the company? Are marginalized employees empowered and supported, not just tolerated? Does DEI extend beyond hiring practices to impact policies, work environments, and leadership opportunities? The direct impact of DEI on Black communities and marginalized groups. For Black communities and other marginalized groups, the stakes are incredibly high. DEI initiatives hold the potential to create pathways for these communities to thrive in workplaces where they've historically been excluded. But too often, the promises of DEI fail to deliver lasting impact. In many cases, marginalized employees face the same challenges they've always faced, despite the rise of DEI programs. Tokenism, microaggressions, and a lack of meaningful career advancement are just a few of the barriers that still exist, even in companies with well-publicized DEI efforts. What does it mean when Black employees are hired to diversify the workforce but are not given the same opportunities for growth or advancement? Are DEI initiatives truly addressing these deep-rooted issues, or are they simply masking the problem? Real-life examples of progress and setbacks in the corporate world. While some companies have made remarkable strides in diversity and inclusion, others have faced setbacks that show the limitations of DEI programs. Take, for example, the high-profile case of Walmart, which rolled out a major DEI initiative, only to see backlash from employees who felt the program was superficial and didn't address underlying issues such as systemic racism or unequal pay. On the flip side, there are examples of companies that have made real progress by implementing bold, forward-thinking DEI strategies. Accenture, for example, has led the way in making DEI a core value by focusing on initiatives like equal pay audits and transparent leadership development opportunities for women and underrepresented groups. Similarly, Ben & Jerry's has been consistently outspoken on issues related to racial justice, leading to significant representation of people of color at all levels of leadership within the company. The steps businesses need to take for true equity and inclusion. So, what can businesses do to ensure that DEI initiatives are more than just buzzwords? First and foremost, organizations need to move beyond performative actions and focus on creating systemic change. This means not only addressing issues of representation, but also examining pay equity, career advancement, and workplace culture. Additionally, businesses must take a holistic approach to DEI that includes both top-down leadership and bottom-up involvement. A truly inclusive culture is one where all employees, regardless of their background, feel valued and empowered to bring their full selves to work. Leaders need to take accountability, listen to marginalized voices, and actively work to dismantle barriers to inclusion at every level of the organization. Join the conversation. What's your take on DEI? Now, we want to hear from you. Is DEI in the workplace making real progress? Or is it just a trendy marketing tool? What's your experience with DEI in your workplace? And do you believe it's creating lasting change? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's get this important discussion started.